The Truman Show is one of those movies that I feel is more relevant today than it was when it came out over 25 years ago. Reality TV has been a staple in American television. I know all of us at one time or another has binged some reality TV. I know I was a big real world fan and some of those god awful dating shows, but no matter what kind of reality TV we watch, there's a comfort in watching something that feels real, people that feel like us, and scenarios we can see ourselves in. But The Truman Show asks and answers a lot of questions about the human experience, media, and our relationship to it, and how we feel about the people who give us the media we consume, not to mention the stages of maturity and how we grow as people. The Truman Show was released in 1998 and was directed by Peter Weir. It was written by Andrew Niccol and stars the great Jim Carrey in what may be one of his best performances. I'm not going to break this movie down scene by scene, but more so go over the important themes and how they tie to us as humans. But with that, we'll be spoiling this movie from time to time. Shout outs to Marlon Bellamy for requesting this one. Appreciate you as always, bro. So, The Truman Show is about a man who lives on an island and his life has been documented since birth, 24/7 with no commercial breaks. He is unaware that he lives in a reality TV show where people are watching his everyday life, but as life goes on, his curiosity sparks as he wants major change in his life that disrupts the show. The concept here is actually brilliant and yet so simple. Create a fake world with fake people in it and follow the one real person here. I have to say, Nichols' writing is some of the best before the turn of the century. This film explores complex emotions and themes, not only from Truman, but from the people who watch and the people who are a part of this. I'm not even sure if I'm qualified to tackle them, but I'll give it my best shot. Everything in this man's life is planned by others. His job, his love interest, the food he eats, the media he consumes, everything. To think that these actors, not the ones in the movie, but the ones in the fictional TV show, can go along with this. There's a level of morality that is tested in agreeing to be a part of something like this. Because let's face it, you are aiding in the imprisonment of a man against his will. Now, that's my own personal feelings coming into this because, quite frankly, I couldn't grow with someone, get to know someone for years, and lie to their face every single day about the most important thing about being human: life. What does it say about the people who watch the show? And most importantly, what does it say about its creator? The movie wisely gives the audience a look at this man's life, and it leads us and the viewers to believe this guy is happy. And the way he is living is something worth watching. I mean, imagine if you were an older person and you've been watching this guy for almost 30 years. You feel like you know this guy. You would know this guy better than people you know in real life. I'm the type of guy who loves background things on videos I play on YouTube or throw a movie or show on I've seen a bunch of times. If this was a real show streaming 24/7, I can't lie. I'd likely have this on here and there in the background. I mean, imagine people putting this on their TV and watching him sleep while they fall asleep, especially a lonely person, a person who doesn't have someone to hold. Truman can maybe give them comfort or hope. I mean, look at the people who are watching him. There were older ladies who had Truman pillows on their couch. So why are we obsessed with the lives of others? I'm not any kind of professional. I'm a guy who reviews films, but I'll offer my insight based on personal observations and some critical thinking. I would say most of us truthfully are bored with our own lives and the narratives they take. What do most of us do? Wake up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, watch some TV, go to sleep, repeat. I mean, that's boring, right? We get the annual vacation or whatever, but I mean, most of the year is quite regular. At least for Americans. No matter whose type of lives you watch, it's all just escapism for our own boring and basic lives. We watch stuff like My 600-Pound Life, My Strange Addiction, and whatever TLC show is hot because let's face it, it makes us feel better about ourselves and the way we live because, hey, at least we aren't like them. It rationalizes our deepest insecurities and offers comfort in the thought that there are people out there that have it worse off than me. And on the flip side, people are obsessed with folks like the Kardashians or their favorite streamer or YouTuber. Now, for me, this is one I personally don't understand. I get relating to your favorite streamer, you watch them all the time, get to know them through the things they say and the narratives they create to give you outlook on who they are as a person. You guys may like the same music or love the same video games, or you may just find them attractive and charming. No different than our favorite actors in a sense. But with streaming, we see them all the time, whenever we want. But what I think a lot of people don't think about is they are too often playing a character. When it comes to the Kardashians, where do I begin? This is a tough one to analyze if I'm being honest. In my opinion, their entire persona as a family is all smoke and mirrors, and somehow they've managed to turn whatever it is they do into a billion-dollar empire. It's impressive. A whole bunch of shows that have been big for decades based on women who get plastic surgery, take pictures, and complain about rich people problems. Yet, a lot of ladies support them, give them money, and most, and maybe worst of all, try and emulate them. I heard a woman say recently that big butts aren't in anymore. And I said, "What makes you say that?" She said, "Well, the Kardashians are taking their butts out and losing weight, so it's not cool anymore." I bursted into laughter. I had a 50-year-old woman basically admitting to me that she really believes these women have set the beauty standards and actually are the deciding factors of what's cool and what's not. I replied, "Sure, that may be so in the circle of those ladies, but men always have and always will like a nice backside, despite what the Kardashians have." It got me thinking though. I know there are millions of women who feel this way because face it, men aren't really keeping up with the Kardashians. But she wasn't entirely wrong. Look at the beauty culture this family has cultivated. They have absolutely accelerated the plastic surgery and body cosmetic industry along with the makeup and all the other stuff. When I realized this, it just kind of made me sad. These reality stars are more famous and rich than people who have made real change and difference in the world. So many women live vicariously through these women, and there's a girl in each age bracket for the ladies to relate to. They possess something in them all these women wish they had, because despite what their mouths might say about them, they watch them, buy their products, and try and look like them. And the ringleader of it all is Kris Jenner. Now, who is Kris Jenner? I don't need to explain. Everyone knows who she is, and when talking about the Truman Show, it's easy to compare her to our antagonist Christoph. Similar names, how funny. But Christoph is the creator of the Truman Show, someone the world hails as a genius and giver of hope and inspiration. Christoph is masterfully played by veteran Ed Harris. He feels what goes on in his mind is the most valuable thing he has to offer the world. He really believes that his show is the best thing for the people. In my opinion, what he is doing here is morally wrong. He has created this pretty prison for Truman to live on in the form of this island that he doesn't allow him to leave. He shaped and created Truman's life to his own liking. He disrupts the natural order of life for Truman by redirecting him and guiding him in directions that he wouldn't normally go in, interfering with everything that Truman desires, especially when we see him fall for a woman who almost ruins everything and exposes the truth to him when he wanted to leave to go to Fiji. Even down to what this man can listen to on the radio and the foods he eats. What's the difference between Christoph and Kris Jenner? Okay, fine. Her kids know what's going on, but she controls their lives in every way. She brilliantly crafted the careers of these women through careful marketing and staying just ahead of trends to offer the illusion that these folks are the biggest influencers of our time. It's no coincidence that they all look the same, get the same surgeries, date the same type of men, etc. Look at it. They were all dating rappers and NBA players before the dawn of the current regime, and in the midst of it, they are suddenly dating men that maybe fit the mold of who the world would maybe want them to be with, given the times. Sure, they have a reality show, but they actually live that out for the world to see on and off camera and on and off the internet. Christoph has done the exact same thing. Hell, maybe this was Chris's favorite movie, who knows? But the blueprint is the same and it works the same. They both are drunk on power and think everything they think of is gold. And hell, it may be. But just like Truman, I think it'll ultimately fall apart. But it doesn't matter. Kris has made her mark on the world and more importantly, made the money. She has the adolescent's complacency with her kids. They just blindly follow whatever advice she gives because it's always worked and crafted them a nice, comfortable life. Same thing with Christoph and Truman. Truman has a nice life. Nice wife, a good job, friends. What more can you want? Well, that all works for a while, but adult curiosity will eventually take over, even if it doesn't happen until you're 30, 40, or maybe even 50. Just like Truman, he wants more than what is given and eventually wants to make his own choices. And I'm sure the women of the Kardashian family have wanted the same thing at one time or another and may even split off from her completely at some point. Now, I could be reading way too much into this with the Kardashian comparison. I could be way off the mark, and don't hesitate to tell me if I am. Now, I don't know if people would be as happy and cheerful as they are when Truman breaks free of his oppressor as if the Kardashian girls did. But I think it all says more about arrogance and thirst for control from the creators than the stars used to perpetuate the messages. The bottom line is really this: anything we see through a screen is cultivated to appear a certain way. Everything is planned. If you want realness in a performance, I guess you can go to an improv comedy show that involves the crowd. All of our entertainment, not just TV shows, movies, music, even sports, it's all meticulously planned out and served to us in a way that will not only make us consume it, but get emotionally invested in it to keep us coming back. That's why the Kardashians have 20 seasons. That's why we've been watching the NFL, NBA, and MLB every single year. That's why they go crazy when the new Taylor Swift album drops. All these people are people we admire and desire to have their talents, fame, and of course their wealth. We've all been guilty of it, whether it's on a large scale or a small scale. And this movie highlights this to a T. The Truman Show is brilliantly written, and Weir's direction masterfully mixes the dark and sad emotions of the story along with the bright lights and laughs of the glitz and gold to give us an easily digestible story without making the audience think too much about getting slapped in the face with the powerful underlying message and theme. Jim Carrey was snubbed heavy at the Oscars this year. He gives one of the best performances and shuts up all the critics who thought he was a one-note guy. This is a timeless film that's funny, heartfelt, and has aged like wine as far as themes and what it represents. It really holds a mirror to America and how we as citizens interact with the media. One of the best movies of the 1990s, and I am going to give The Truman Show a 9.5 out of 10. Guys, thanks for watching my Truman Show review. Would appreciate a like, and if you had a little fun, subscribe. Follow me on Letterboxd Ralph Vader. I'll link it below. I got a podcast with my buddy, The Cutting Room Floor. I'll link that below for more movie content. Let me know if there's a film or topic you'd like me to review. I can do a longer format for you. Gonna be working on some award seasons videos here and there with the Oscars approaching. And I'll be back next week. And don't forget the popcorn.